Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tierra Querida. Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips that you can hopefully find useful for your trip at Breckenridge. And if you're interested, keep watching and welcome back. My very first tip is for you to stay somewhere close to the ski resort. I would probably say no more than 15 to 20 minutes, just because you don't want to get stuck in traffic trying to find parking and spend a lot of time driving around when you can be up on the lifts and skiing your way down. If you go to the description section of this video, you will find the Airbnb that I stayed at. And I will insert here a video of how cozy and comfortable it was. And it's only 15 minutes from the ski resort. So I think this is a perfect spot for you to stay at, especially if you are only maybe 2 or 3 people, perhaps 4. This is a great spot. The second biggest tip for you is to make sure that when you are purchasing your ski lift ticket, it includes the date that you do want to go to. And of course, the more busier the date is, the more expensive it'll be. You can save a little bit of money if you do buy it within maybe 1 to 2 weeks in advance. But make sure that whatever ticket you do choose will either include or not include blackout dates depending on when you want to go, because you don't want to make the costly mistake of getting there to the resort and then you're not able to ski that day. Blackout dates include holidays like New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and other major holidays where people have the availability to travel a little bit more than if you go during the week. The third tip is going to be for you to check the description for the parking availability link. And some of those parking areas are paid and some of them are free. I would suggest that you just go ahead and opt in if you can for the paid parking, so you can park a lot closer and you don't have to deal with having to wait for the shuttle or carrying all your stuff to and from the shuttle bus stop area. I ended up paying, I think it was $30 to $40 for the day, and I think that is just quite perfect because I didn't have to walk more than 10 minutes. I think it's actually more closer to 5. And it was super quick to get to and from the parking spot, easy to pay, no biggie, and it's all day. And I personally like to ski all day because I do like to have a lunch in between, so I think that area is quite perfect. Now, like I mentioned, the resort is pretty much cash free, so you do want to make sure that you bring a credit card or debit card and you talk with your banks, notify them that you will be out of town or out of the country and visiting Breckenridge, Colorado, so they don't block your card. Now, I do think that there is quite a few people who like to just ski and teach themselves as they go, and there's also people who like to take classes. Now, yes, the classes can be really expensive because you're paying for your class, your ticket, and probably your rental, especially if it's your first time. But I do think it is worth noting that if you do take the class, you have the option for the afternoon class for another $50, which is a lot better than paying the same, $200 fee for the next day to book that. And then that way you're with the same instructor if you do like your instructor. Now that I mentioned the instructors, I do want to make a quick note that some of the instructors may not be super experienced. So I don't know how they handle the bookings and which instructor goes with who. I would assume that the less experienced instructors are with the children, the younger ones. They call them the little nuggets. But I do think it's important that you ask, because if you're spending a lot of money doing these classes and, paying for this ski lift ticket and rentals, you want to go with someone that's experienced and that can give you tips. So if there's any way you can ask ahead of time, I would highly encourage you do so, because I did overhear a guy say that it was his first time skiing. So, you may get an experienced instructor or you may not, which kind of sucks that it's, a 50-50 chance, but just wanted to let you know that information. If you choose not to take the afternoon class after doing the morning class, you do want to make sure that you grab a map if you're going on these lifts, because it is so easy to get lost and there are over 180 trails for you to do. I mean, this is a relatively big resort. It's a little bit smaller than Whistler, and I do have a video on Whistler, so check that out. But yeah, so make sure you grab a map and you stay safe and you keep an eye out for wildlife because they can just show up at any time and you don't want to, panic and not know where to go. At least with the map, if you end up going a different trail than you were intending to, then you can kind of make yourself, guide yourself back to where you wanted to go in the first place. Now, if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Bye.